Besides death, all failure is psychological. I had this realization this morning, actually. I wrote it down. I have it, the whole thing written out. And I actually saw this quote by Alex Hormozy. He said, I don't know where he got it from. Maybe he came up with it. If you know Alex Hormozy, let me know. Comment it below. Alex Hormozy. I want to know how many people listen to him. Very, very knowledgeable person. Check him out. If you want to be successful in life, business, Alex Hormozy, Dan Kennedy, very interesting people. He also has very interesting philosophical, psychological ways of thinking and quotes he puts out. One of them was this: besides death, all failure is psychological. And it made me sit there and think, and it basically went into how when you fail at something, look, we grow up in this society where we are, we go to school, and school isn't really incentivized to fail. You're more so incentivized to avoid failure because you look bad, and just to see a bad grade, you just don't want that because, same with you you start an exam, you get the first question, you feel like, oh, fuck, I don't know if I even got this right. And then you feel low confidence and you move on to the next question. And you're like, damn, that low confidence from the first question is going to spew over to the next question. Even if you know the question, your reticular activating system, RAS, check it out, is going to be like, fuck, do I even know this information? I should have studied more. And then you're going to doubt yourself and get the next question wrong. And then, this happens 3 or 4 times. It's fucked. And not only with exams, this can be with anything. With double guessing what you're going to say, start stuttering. Now you're going to have a stuttering problem. Double guessing when you're driving. I get to check yourself. But we are literally, it's one thing to, tell someone you learn from your failures, but if you can't even fail to learn because society or whatever, group that you're in, it's going to be like, yeah, this person failed, or you just feel that in yourself because you're told you shouldn't fail. If you're dead, do any failures matter? I do believe that whenever anxiety arises in your fucking psyche, in between your neurons, the synaptic nerves, when there is anxiousness, when there's cortisol and stress accumulating in your brain, you are causing that. Yes, it might be an external thing, this and that, but it is all caused and created in your head and felt in your head, in this body. Whatever you feel isn't something that's outside, it's in you. And most of the times, unconsciously, we are creating our own feelings. We are letting things happen. We are letting things affect us. We are letting a rude text message build up anger inside of us because of resentment that we might have against this person, and type out this whole message and then feel bad after sending it, rather than just typing it out, not sending it, feeling it out, understanding that maybe I don't need to say anything. Maybe the best thing I can do is keep failing these exams till I eventually pass, because every question I get wrong, I learn from it. Every business, not to say you should aim to fail everything, but I've had a lot of failed relationships due to my faults. My own addictions, my own bad habits, my own lack of, how do you say it? Lack of identity in myself. Listening to what parents say too much, listening to what the girlfriend says too much, not having a sense of what I want. And when you grow up your whole life being told what to do passively, implicitly, to choose a specific career, specific person to marry, you're going to marry someone Indian, right? When you're young, why do you say that to us? I get it, I get it, I get it. Ironic, like with a great partner, she happens to be Indian, but most of my life I wasn't with Indian partners. And maybe it was an act of rebellion, it was maybe just happened to be who I meet, it wasn't intentional. A lot of things require failure. I've had 4 or 5 long-term relationships and then a bunch of short-term, and all of them failed, right? That led me to this partner, to this beautiful, which I'm grateful for, relationship. And whatever business you have, whether it's your fifth failed drop shipping store, now you start up a YouTube channel, or you start up your final drop shipping store, or it doesn't have to be final, you just figure out and iterate a way to make it successful. Who says that the first time you do something it's going to be, that doesn't really happen. If you hear a story of that happening, then it's usually pre-planned or put in place by someone, maybe nepotism in a way, where, I mean, even nepotism, there's plenty of famous actors, kids who, they set up everything, the promo right for the movie release, everything, but just there wasn't enough soul in the movie because maybe the actor's kid in the movie doesn't want to be an actor, and maybe LeBron James' kid doesn't want to play basketball, but maybe kind of pushed into it because everyone says that's what they should do. So when you grow up like that, it's not incentivized to fail and learn. It's more so incentivized to be oblivious and just focus on whatever is working, which is a good way to do things, I guess, to focus on what's working. But you do need to, from my experience, try things. If there's a section on a whole, like, I'm taking this real estate exam, and there's like different sections, and there's like contract sections, transfer of property, what are the other ones, like the rights, there's water rights, this and that, there's a lot. If I feel weak in a certain area, ACT, whatever, you're taking the USMLE, MCAT, or whatever, and you are weak, or you feel like you have a weakness in the comprehension reading part of it, and naturally, who the fuck wants to go focus on something they are not good at? I suck at basketball. My mind doesn't go into like, gotta go play basketball. Yeah, it's fun playing with my cousins, and we're just fucking around playing basketball. But if I tried, if I failed and missed the shots and embarrassed myself in my own head, and tried, failed, as long as I'm not dead and hurting anyone, that's how you learn. And that took a long time for me to understand. And it's just very discouraging when you do a practice exam for something, when you're practicing something. It could be anything. Speaking, practicing talking to a girl, you get anxious talking to the opposite sex, and you're practicing, you're gonna mess up at some point. I mess up, I stutter, I might, sometimes say too much that, sometimes I catch myself where, like, I know when to be quiet, when to talk, when not to talk. I feel like, have an intuition. Sometimes I feel like I talk too much and I catch myself, but that's me making the mistake and then catching myself. The awareness, I didn't wake up on time today, rather than just beating up myself about that over and over again because I failed today. I didn't wake up on the time that I was supposed to. Yes, get angry a little bit, use it as motivation, but don't hurt yourself mentally and, have a sore attitude the whole day just because, things didn't turn out the way you wanted to. Maybe whatever way they turned out to be, you can spin it in a way where it benefits you. There's a lot of things we have power of, there's a lot of things we don't have power of, and I guess failure is the thing we have power in failing. And I've seen a lot of videos of people saying you should strive for failure, but why? I kind of understand now why, and it makes a little bit more sense. Every day it makes a little bit more sense, but it's hard. I'm taking this practice exam, Prep Agent, and it tells you the answer you get wrong immediately and explains it why. And in the beginning, when you're learning something, the method I've been using now is just, study a little bit, but then just go in for the practice exam. Keep taking those and then going over what I've, kind of have foggy on. But when you're new to it, it's very discouraging because you're going to get a lot of them wrong. I would start 50%, 40%, eventually 60, 70. I was like, I need to get an 80, but I kept getting like 74, 75, 79. It's all a process. And as long as you're not dead on the side of the road, I think that's all that matters. If you found this interesting, if you want to, some of this stuff is can't really be said online publicly, and even some of the stuff I talk about on this channel, I hesitate speaking up about this stuff. So I feel like this channel is a way for me to have an outlet to a community, and Like I said in other videos, these videos are for my great 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 grandchildren, or future kids, descendants in the future. Because I really wished, even like if my great great grandpa or even my grandpa had a video of his childhood, talking about shit that he's been through, his just a biography of his thoughts, of what he thought about the stuff that was going on. Let's say if I had a relative that lived in the era of Genghis Khan or Alexander the Great, what did he or she experience, rather than what I hear in history books and this and that? Can I get a first person video of someone talking about what they saw, what they felt, rather than these textbook words or institutionalized versions of history? I want to learn what actually happened. And sometimes even talking to your parents, this and that, wanting to learn more about your culture, their life, their parents. uh, there's always a time and place for that. We got busy lives. Sometimes you can't have those conversations every day, but I can make a video every day talking about my experience. And I'm sure a lot of you who, not related to me, I'm sure we're all related somehow. We're all one organism together, a human being, separated out into infinite souls or whatever, different perspectives. We're all one, and that's what I believe in. I'm sure that there's something in this video that you can benefit from and kind of feel like, damn, that spoke to me, or I relate to that. If not, I don't care. Let me know in the comments below. I love you. Thank you for watching and all the support and comments. I read all the comments and reply to all of them. Thank you.